Is
Recording in progress.
low, it's 1:40, April 21st. We're here for collective bargaining between the union and the city of Laredo. Just wanted to say, I know that we were going to this. I believe it is the ad pay article, which is Article 16, the base wage article, which is Article 15, the retirement article, which is Article 30, and I believe the staffing as well, which is Article 12. Am I correct in those article numbers? I believe so.
Oh, what was staffing?
Those are the staffing. Those are the ones. Yes. So we do have a PowerPoint presentation that we'd like to get up on the screen, please, sir. Thank you.
15, 16, and 12.
15, 16, 12, and 30, which is the retirement.
We have a presentation we'd like to see for the year.
And we will memorialize these in writing, and they'll be provided to you at a later date.
16, 30, and 12.
Appreciate it. Such Laredo. So because of your move, we want to just go ahead and address, what's good for Laredo, as opposed to picking out other cities and items to bring forth and go back and forth on. So just for today, come up with these three ideas, right? These are some shared priorities. I believe both sides.
No, I was just saying that was the only place it was on.
So I believe both sides share. So I like to see, and I believe you all have been helping us move towards this a less adversarial negotiation, because we all are going to be working together, the day after we sign this. I'm not going to get my car and drive off and go back to my firm or something. So, this is what we all want to work towards: the financial flexibility, and the incentives for firefighters, just to make you all more qualified at what you do, so that we have whether it's primarily yours, ours, it's both parts, right? So first, financial flexibility. Yes, we've talked about this, but in no way we're trying to get you guys to give up money to fix this in one fell swoop. But that 7% ties the hands of the chief and the department. There's some things that you all would probably want to see develop more in the best trained personnel, but fire trucks cost what, $500,000, $800,000. Ambulances cost more. So these are things that we'd like to move towards in the future, not in the life of this contract, but just in the future. The private sector, maybe 60% personnel. In the public sector, it's more 80. It'd be nice to have more flexibility in the budget. That's
told that the public is not seeing this. Is it supposed to? That it's not being viewed, it's not being live by the public, I guess.
We're gonna have to share the screen, sir, with the public. Let's see if I can do it from here. Okay, let's see. Where's the Zoom? Yes. I'm gonna share screen. There's multiple. Yeah, it's already on. Oh yeah, here it is. There you go. All right. And then we'll start. Yes, sir. From the side.
Okay. So again, it's just moving towards a healthy budget, a more flexible budget. That's all. Again, it's not on one, it's for all of us. Something that I believe we all want to.
You don't want us to hold any questions or comments until the end, right?
If you have any comments, it's us. So you have something besides.
I just have an extra point of reference. So that's this year's budget.
I think that's this year's budget.
Does that include overtime?
I'm sorry?
Does that include overtime?
It's everything, paying for everything. And that's, the budget as set by
Kind of over.
a recommendation. of
I get it.
management.
I get it. That- again,
Sets it.
It's just something to move towards, right? If
Yeah,
we get to
I'm
80%,
just,
it'd be nice.
trying to understand
But
which
you're not
budget.
gonna do it overnight.
Well, no. It was just, because if there's $5 million in overtime there, it matters what percentage of the budget is,
I got
you
you.
know,
I got you.
if it's there. Then the other question I had is, and y'all might have these numbers, I don't know. Do y'all have how much our budget has increased over the last 10 years minus the salary increases? I know the budget might have increased accordingly to the increase in salaries, but how much has the budget gone up? Because you have mentioned that the fire trucks used to cost $500,000, now they cost $800,000.
Actually, 1.2, 1.1.
Yeah.
Well, that's aerial trucks. Those, that's not engines, yeah.
And ambulances.
I was just,
Yeah.
my point was, is I just want to know if the budget had increased over the last, steadily to equal cost of living and inflation over the last few years. I was just wondering.
There's
That's
two
all.
types of budgets. There's an operation budget and a capital budget. We're buying all the equipment from a capital budget, not from the operation. So if you're trying to get there, you're not going to get there because trucks aren't being bought from,
What budget is this?
that is your operations budget.
Well, you just talked about trucks going up in price, so that talked about this budget.
There's other needs. He's saying there's other needs within the city that fire department has. And so we need to balance both of them out.
I know, but he said we need to balance that percentage out there.
These are trucks. These are not engines. These are just trucks and ambulances.
When you said $500,000 to $800,000, that's engine companies.
It says fire trucks. Fire trucks.
Fire trucks. So I'm just trying to understand, because
Yeah.
I agree, those come out of capital outlay, not this budget. And that's why when we're talking about this budget, and we're talking about fire trucks, it just, I think what was said is.
Okay.
Not exactly.
Yeah. And then to answer your question, if we can get all that information, I'm just trying to say, let's just get a healthy, flexible position. That's all.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, another thing is to develop a highly qualified firefighter force to protect the community. And I think this is where it comes down to the additional pays. All right. So we have a proposal with regard to the ad pay system.
Can we dim the lights?
Or print it?
I think it's moving the window shades.
No, we didn't change anything.
Huh?
I didn't change anything.
So I was doing the printer.
Yeah, we know the printout. That's fine. David, if you have to get on a chair, it's too high for everyone.
Those have longer.
Yeah.
You can turn off the front lights.
These are it. The only one that's been changed is this one. This one been changed. That's the only thing. Right there. We're okay. All right. So this would be right now,
He's on. Sorry.
if we were to convert your ad pays, okay, this is what you make right now, and take into account, this is not including overtime. When you calculate how much you bring home every pay period, you factor in your base wage, your overtime, and then the percentage would attach to that. So-
Say that again?
So
When we
the way, when it comes down to your take home pay,
Mhm.
the way it works is you take your base rate of pay, okay, and then you divide that by your number of pay periods. And then you take the overtime at a time and a half, you calculate that. And then the last thing you do is you calculate 10% for an ad pay on that whole thing, right? So these numbers here, just so you all know, reflect base pay only and the ad pay, okay? So they're gonna be a little, so this isn't exactly what the city of Laredo pays in an ad pay to a firefighter. This is just to get baseline numbers, okay? So if we were to factor out overtime, this is what every rank would receive for a Texas Commission of Fire Protection certification, the intermediate, advanced, and masters, okay? These are the amounts here. So this would be current. Our proposal, go ahead.
That's not the big right?
This would be per month. This would be per month. Yes, sir. And thank you for the clarification. This is per month.
So we did, okay, so you just divided the annual base rate by 12.
Yes, that is correct.
Actually, you're taking the base pay times the percentage.
Base pay times percentage, and then we divide it by 12. So this is how much a firefighter would, this would be the ad pay percentage for the certifications towards your base pay. So this would be the breakdown, all right? And again, the city of Laredo pays more than these because you take overtime into consideration, okay? Now, our proposal, and this proposal, you can't see it?
That's okay.
Yeah, this proposal that we are bringing forth for Article 16 is, we didn't want to divide membership. I know that that was a big deal the last time we were here, because our proposal in the last negotiation session, our proposal was, look, all the current membership, keep your ad pays as is. And then when it comes to the new membership, we can propose a ad pay system for them that includes fixed rates. Now, collectively, people on the board and the union said, we don't want to divide the membership. And you all had your reasons, and we understand that. So what we had to do was come up with a way to make it fixed rate for everyone. All right. So what we did was our current proposal would be, this would be a breakdown. We couldn't do a same amount for every rank because based on the percentage and based on how much your base pay is, they are vastly different numbers. So 10% for a beginning firefighter a year without overtime for an EMT certification would be around $7,000, would be $700 a month. That's how much it would be. Now, for someone making 120,000, that is a much higher number. So to put both ranks on a fixed rate at the same number, the higher ranking firefighters would have to take a dramatic pay cut. And that's not what we were trying to do. So what we were talking about is coming up with a tiered system. All right. So from firefighters to assistant drivers, these would be our numbers for a flat rate, intermediate certification, advanced certification, and master certification. All right. This would be it. Now, again, and this is all part of the proposal. The new membership, this would be their certification. And it would be across the board, 200, 400, and 600. Now, just so you all know, these numbers are very consistent and congruent with what other jurisdictions are paying for these ad pays. All right. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, we're going back to compare to other cities?
No,
Is that what you said?
no,
he did say
sir.
that,
No,
that
sir.
we're not trying to stick it to you. Right?
Article,
That's what it sounded like, we were going
No.
back to compare to other cities.
no, sir. Chapter 174, it does say that we do have to compare, and we looked at all these jurisdictions just to get the numbers.
We're not doing that anymore.
I understand that, sir, but it's,
But we want to be considerate. We don't want to say, hey, you know, you're just not going to get anything.
And-
Don't to anybody else.
No, but I think if we're gonna compare, then
He's just
then
saying
we compare the
that,
whole
I
thing.
don't promise.
Guys,
Yeah.
guys,
That's all I'm
guys,
saying.
wait. May
Sure.
I think what's happening right now is we're getting one word and trying to read too much into it. What we're trying to say is we're trying to be fair across the board, and we're trying to come and give you good numbers. There will be times that you will also have to compare in other situations, and we will have to compare. Let's try not to use specific words. We're coming, take this.
No,
That's all we do.
And let me clarify.
I just had a
Yeah.
question though,
Yeah.
if you can go back to the last slide. So for some of those ranks, that would be a pay cut.
There was
Yes,
one-
yes,
So
it would.
that would be a pay cut. It's just
Actually,
like
like,
one of
in
the,
the middle is a pay cut.
okay.
Yes.
All right, well, let me finish.
And we're trying to make up for it with
Yeah.
pension and all that
With
stuff.
some other
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's my,
straight up.
okay, so you have a proposal.
Yes, because it's a big package.
It is a package proposal,
Right, and
yeah.
I just wanted to, instead of,
And by law, we have to be aware of other jurisdictions. I'm just saying, I'm not leading by saying, oh, well, we're proposing this because that city does it or that city does it. We're just saying, we're trying to be fair here and we're aware that, you know, you're not going to be harmed.
okay. and,
That's it. That's it.
We'll see, I guess, in the future slide.
So then now, this would be for anyone hired after October 1st, 2023. Yes, sir.
I guess you led with not wanting to divide the membership. but it's
Correct.
Kind of.
And there is going to be an added incentive for new membership, sir. Okay.
Yeah, so let's get.
So EMT ad pay, this is again, the same type of math that we did for the last ad pay.
Mhm.
This would be a breakdown of what every rank makes based on, taking the 10% of the base, dividing by 12. Again, not taking into account overtime. This would be the number. Okay. Now for the current membership, this would be the ad pay for everyone. All right. If you're a firefighter with 36 or assistant driver, your EMT would be 550 along with 650 in the middle category. And then the higher end category would be 750. Now this would be the EMT ad pay for new membership. Now the incentive here is if you are on an EMT rotation and you're on the ambulance, you are making $600. You are making $600 a month. If you are not on an EMT rotation and you're just getting paid to hold to the certification, it's $300. All right. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Who assigned that?
Fire chief.
The fire chief.
Okay.
Yes. Whoever's on a rotation.
So specifically just on an ambulance and anything else that respond. Am I correct?
I would imagine so. I mean, if you, so I guess the issue is if you are on the rotation of being on the ambulance, which I've heard is it's a pretty fast paced, stressful job. It's, you know, it's ongoing. You're on an ambulance rotation. You are going to get an incentive to actually be using your certificate while on the ambulance. All right.
That would mean that you'd be taking away the extra add-ons that are for rotation, basically. Right?
Yes. So those add-ons would be taken away. I think there's like an extra $25 per shift.
And then
Those would be eliminated.
Okay.
The incentive for the rotation
$5 per shift.
at $5 per shift. So that would be taken away and it would be there. All right. So the education ad pays, this is what someone gets on an education basis. All right. Now, firefighters, excluding district chiefs and excluding other chiefs, to have an associate will give you an extra $100 a month. A bachelor's degree will get someone an extra $150 a month. District chiefs are actually on a percentage. That's how much that percentage comes out to for 8% on an associate's, 10% for a bachelor's. That's how much district chiefs get every month. And deputy marshal, assistant fire chiefs, they're excluded from all the education benefits. All right. Yeah, because that's the way the contract read. It says, it doesn't say any other rank. It just says district chiefs. Unless I got that wrong, Mr. So,
It was district chief involved.
because that's not what the contract says. And I only went off what the contract said. But if that's been the current practice, then obviously we can make that distinction if possible. All right. And then the
So
education.
you're
ad pay.
proposing not to pay the higher ranks, education pay.
No. This is, this is how, so when I read the contract,
Flat rate. No, the flat rate you're
No,
proposing.
He said that's what it's for.
that's what it is right now.
You see it on the next slide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not second.
So.
Oh, okay. I thought that's your proposal.
No, I'm sorry. This is the proposal. It's basically the same, but the district chief is going to a flat rate. So it ends up being $700, $900. All right. And this is all based on how the contract
You're
is.
proposed- But that's what you're proposing?
Yes, because it's basically the same.
Oh, okay.
It's basically the same. All right. Now this would be the education ad pay for new membership. It's a little higher. For an associate's, you get $200. For a bachelor's degree, you get $400. And we are adding a master's degree. We feel that, if a firefighter is going to take the time and cost and expense of getting a master's degree, that they should be compensated for it. It's no different.
The slides,
Slides are moving around. Oh,
It's not moving?
Oh, on
on Zoom.
Oh.
The slide moving on Zoom? You're dancing? Maybe it needs a
So that's
delay.
only for new members.
That would be only for new members. And again, this is a proposal, hopefully and that's what we're trying to do. You see what we're trying to do, and I want you to.
What's the idea behind bachelor's and master's? Just because the master's is new, right?
The masters would be new, so it's an incentive for new members. I mean,
To go get a master's.
it's easy to tell. Now you can tell the new membership coming in, yeah, you may not have the same amount in ad pays, but there is something in this contract that is incentivizing you to get this education, okay? And possibly more money in your pocket as a firefighter. Now with the assignment ad pays, this is how much they're going for right now. It's the arson instructor or the arson investigator, instructor, hazmat rescue team and ARF are already at a fixed amount. So this would be what is the current state of affairs for these ad pays, okay? Now you have the proposed assignments, and we just calculated the arson instructor based on rank, and that would be that's what it is right now for a fixed amount, and then these would still, and the fixed amounts for hazmat rescue team and ARF would remain the same. Now, this would be the proposed for any new hires after October 1st, 2023. Basically all the same. All right. $200 for arson investigator, instructor, hazmat, rescue team, and ARF. Now, another incentive for the new membership, because their amounts would be, substantially lower than what the current memberships are, would be giving them the option of a third ad pay. They would get a third ad pay to hopefully be able to offset some of the lower things. So
But the current membership will.
the current membership wouldn't because of how high the rates are right now. But again, I hope you all can understand how difficult it is to come up with a system that keeps you guys with the same amount of money going home every day and to make it a fixed amount. It is quite large. I understand that you guys for your careers have enjoyed these percentage ad pays, and our motivations from day one was to not touch that. We're only having to come up with this system because of your all's wishes and not wanting to divide the membership, which we completely understand. But mathematically, it's very difficult, especially considering the fact that we want to change this ad pay system in order to have some savings to reinvest that money back into the community and to this department. So it's a very difficult task. So I want you all to understand that. And again, if this exercise allows you to come up with some proposal or to get creative with this to accomplish your goal of keeping the same amount of money that you're bringing home now and still providing for new membership, then we're all ears. Okay. So, okay, go ahead.
That's all. That was
Yeah, on the ad pay system, yes.
And that's only proposal for the base pay.
The base pay is
coming up.
is coming up.
That's coming up.
No, the reflection, you're saying we're shifting away, but only
Yes.
for base salary, not for overtime, not for sellbacks, not for anything, only for base pay.
Only for base pay.
So if someone works overtime, they don't get anything on incentives.
The way it
If we
works,
sell back sick leave at the end of their career, nothing in incentives. Does that what the proposal includes?
So what-
I'm just, I'm
Is
asking.
it fixed rate?
it's just fixed rate, but I,
So it eliminates ad pays on anything outside of base.
correct.
Correct. We can move on.
No, well, it's still part of the calculation of what we're talking.
Oh, is it still part of the
Yes, it's
calculation?
still part of the calculation.
Oh, for retirement
No,
or overtime?
for overtime.
Well, we had the discussion yesterday and I thought there was a consensus. We need to kind of double.
Yeah,
check
it still
that
is, it still is.
What about at the end of the careers?
No, if Ms. Cabrera is saying what it is when we set up the system, we need to attach a portion of that for the OT.
Say that again.
So it'd be prorated for the overtime.
Yes.
Okay, what about for the sellback exercise? When you sell back your sick leave or
At the end of my
vacation
career,
at the
I
end of
sell
your
back the
career?
It's
dollar.
all part of
That
it.
would have to be contingent on what the sellback parameters
Is
say.
it prorated?
Like right now, if it's a percentage base and I sell back 10 hours, that's 10% on top of the 10 hours.
Since I don't remember, David, going back, because last time we saw was what, over 10 years ago? I
No,
don't
no,
remember.
no,
what
I
we
said
said.
it.
Oh, no, for the selling back, okay, yeah, no, I know what you're saying now, what they're saying
I
is
just-
when they retire,
Right.
and we pay out the.
Because let's just say we even entertained this.
Yes,
And this got voted in.
yes.
Just go check how many firemen are 45 years and older, and you can see how many guys are about to walk out the door, which would cripple the department. So I just want to make sure we're talking about the same thing. Is it included or not included?
I'm not sure exactly, I need to connect up to the.
Yes.
Okay, from that. So.
Are you saying yes?
No, I'm not
Oh,
saying
you
yes,
said
sir.
yes.
We need to talk about it.
This was focusing on the base pay, so as
Right.
that question comes up, we'll discuss it right now and then clarify.
It's just, we would make a decision.
I follow what you're saying now, Dave. I was thinking about the sick leave buybacks. That's
Right,
why-
at the end, every year, yeah.
Yeah, but it's retirement, yeah, simply buy back at the retirement.
All right.
Yeah, we'll talk about that
Yeah.
and give a clarification. But as written, it's about a fixed rate, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't attach, percentage.
And that's all I'm
I get
asking,
it.
just to clarify what is what.
And we appreciate that. And we'll get you a clear answer. And so to offset that, we're looking at the request for help with the pension to shore up for the future generations.
Are you gonna
Full screen?
Is it,
Screen change.
the screen changed on me?
maximize the?
Let's see. Sorry. Let's just do it this way, because to go in, let's just do it this mode because. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Sure. Okay.
Just on the bottom, go slide show on the bottom.
It's on the bottom. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, this is the button.
Right.
Right.
The one with
Is it right here?
the one with the little leg on
There
it.
we go. There you go.
Okay.
It'll come in right now. There you go.
Can you speak to this?
It's the track changes. Yeah, I can speak to this. So the staffing of companies. So I know that the last time we were here, your pension concerns are due to understaffing. And I think some of the comments that were made were that, the city is saving money on the backs of firefighters, and that's not what we're trying to do. And you propose something. If the city wishes to, keep the fire department under, if it is necessary for the city to keep these positions unfunded, then what does that do to the pension contributions for those unfunded FTEs, right? That was a big concern. And we heard you. We understand that this is an issue for you. And again, we have a shared priority in the pension. So what we would like to do is go with, sort of agree with you in a sense of we can fund these vacancies or these pension contributions. Our only issue was the first part of the language, but if we go to section D, if the city is not scheduled and begin an academy within 18 months, I know you had 6 months. Now there's some logistical issues with that 6-month period,
18 months?
18 months.
To
It'd be
schedule.
A year and a half.
Not the schedule.
No, not to schedule. If it's been 18 months and we haven't,
Schedule and
And begin.
begin.
And begin.
So that could reach,
Yeah.
that could reach up to
Yeah,
8.5 years. Because you can start scheduling academy and then.
Push it on to another 18 months.
It can.
But
It-
can you let him finish the
Yeah,
presentation?
it does-
That Question, because there's
No.
a portion of it. Oh, why?
it does take a while for these academies to come through. Now, just with the application process and getting that together, it takes more than 6 months for that to happen. So sometimes it could take up to a year. So what we're asking for, and again, this is something that's why we're here at the negotiation table. Yes, sir.
The only thing is the wording said that in anticipation of a shortage in 6 months. So we knew we were gonna be short last year, up to 40 members. And if I'm not mistaken, according to what you were told recently, is we're scheduled the academy in June. Maybe,
I thought it was June.
no.
I think,
We'll read
So
through
I'm saying, you're already stretching
we'll read,
18 months when it says 6. If it says 18 months right now,
we'll read through it. Let's see.
Yeah. so it's
Second part.
18 months of the vacancy. So the idea is that
We
if
can't see it
you
outside.
feel, I,
Do you have it printed out? No?
You can change it really quick. Just change the color.
No,
no, we can't because it's a photo. like that. This is essentially they are going for a certain. So we is up let you know and we're addressing them with this article, right? And we just want to, yeah. If you look at 6.073 of the city charter, this provision of our charter comes into effect if the revenues generated by the city do not match appropriations that the city has made. So anytime we're short on our obligations, the city manager has to go to city council and they need to take action to see how things can be paid for. So what we're saying is that, go ahead, I'm sorry, sir.
Is that based on the year's budget?
It's a fiscal year, sir. So it can happen any year.
So whatever you said for the budget for the next fiscal year, if anything, any account falls
For
under,
example, we did that when we hit COVID, right? And we knew money was coming in, what we went, and we took the council, we said, hey, we're in trouble with these revenues. We're gonna have to put our brakes on certain things and do certain things.
right, so, but that would mean just if one
No,
revenue,
no, this is.
the total
Yeah.
money's coming in for the year.
So in my 24 years, we've done this twice. Twice.
I'm just trying to get an
Yeah.
understanding.
Right, and
It's a citywide thing.
it doesn't happen often. It's just when there's major emergency.
And the thing is that what we're trying to do is avoid where we have a situation where the city's hurting for money during a fiscal year because of some unforeseen circumstance. We understand this is a contractual obligation, but we also need the flexibility to sort of opt out of this because there are other things that are going to have to be paid for with these funds. So again, it's happened, according to Ms. Cabello, 2 times in the last 24 years.
Okay.
So the chance of this happening, I mean, who knows? It's just for unforeseen areas.
But
Yeah.
it's a citywide thing. It's not just
Yeah,
against.
it has to be a citywide thing, and it's only if that provision from the charter is activated. All right, so and the reason why we did that is because we didn't want to say, well, if it drops 5% or, we just wanted to make sure that if it's serious that we're going to invoke this provision of the charter, then it should be serious enough for us to have the flexibility to opt out of these contributions. But the moment that we are at a safe place in the city, our contractual obligation would continue as long as those FTEs are unfunded. All right.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
You said it's happened twice. Just out of question, when, I know COVID, I'm sure was one. When was the other time?
When we asked fire department, I remember it was an incident, I think it was, there was a major significant issue with the valuations.
Was it the best one?
Evaluations are like 94, 90?
No, it was past that. Fernando was still here, part of the board.
I was just wondering, I didn't remember when that happened.
It was twice, it was maybe 2000.
So
Nine.
if
Something, maybe. Let me check.
if you had $100 million in a rainy day fund, and we project $1 billion, and we're $1 under $1 billion, you go to council and say, hey, we need to take a little bit out of the rainy day.
Right,
fund.
then
That
that's what we-
triggers this,
That's what we,
so
that's what
that
we
triggers
said.
this.
That's what we said.
We wanna-
Because there's another section of the charter that says that we can't use fund balance for operations.
Right.
The only time we can use them is for emergency situations.
So, and now the retirement. What we're trying to do is, again, 1% on their retirement. And this would be, it should be in exchange for a 1% increase. This 1% increase, it does come with some strings attached.
Mhm.
The first thing is what we're asking is that this 1% that is being contributed by the city, and again, this money isn't just given to the pension once. I mean, this is a contractual obligation every year, and the same monies are going into the pension every year. So what we're saying is that for this 1% that the city is going to contribute, it has to be excluded from the actuarial review anytime there is a possible increase in benefits. Okay, so essentially this 1% cannot be used essentially for benefit increases. That's all we're asking. We want to make sure that your fund is healthy. That's why we're giving this money, but it's going to have a condition added to it. Additionally, we're asking that the board adopt mandatory requirements for 2 citizen members on the pension. So both citizen members, they have to have a financial background, but at least one of them has to be independent of the union and city management. So any affiliation with firefighters, it would just be one vote. But we are asking that both of these people, both of these members have some financial background. So we give some examples: 60 college hours in business, certifications in finance, accounting, or investments, experience in finance, accounting, bookkeeping, financial reporting, financial models, experience in investment for third parties, or other relevant experience, but that relevant experience can't be the service on the firefighter pension board. So again, this is mutually beneficial because someone with this background would be able to guide your fund in the best possible way and would have a fiduciary duty to ensure that your fund is healthy. Okay. Second of all, this is a way for someone with an investment background to help and aid the board in making the best decisions possible. All right.
What do you do if you can't find somebody?
And
Because this is the voluntary board, I'm sorry.
And what is that, and who makes this determination?
Determination, it would be the board.
Yeah.
They would just have these parameters.
I say if you can't find someone with a financial background, then just certify that they're independent of either side.
And city management is just what? City manager and the assistant?
The city. I mean, not only are we saying that, hey, they're neutral, they're not on the boards, they're not on the firefighters union side, they're not on city side. So it is very much just,
A citizen stakeholder.
citizen stakeholder, someone who has no dog in the fight one way or the other. So it's a completely neutral party.
That's the idea.
That's the idea.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And then with that, the proposal for the next 4 years, this is what it would be: a $2,000 lump sum, and then a $2,500 lump sum in year for 2024, a 2% increase in base wages in 2025, and then a 2.5% in 2026. Just to wrap it up. So that's how we are, ensuring these shared priorities.
We're sorry to find out that the testing is
Is May,
full.
Yes,
May 4th
For Academy.
for an academy. May
the academy should
entrance
start.
exams at St. Motoring at 8 a.m. May 4th.
And when is the,
And it's the begin when?
It begins in October.
So
Right.
you have copies of this, so
Process.
we can discuss
Earlier
it.
do it smaller ones.
we'll print it out for you.
All right, so then-
I'm sorry, but some of that was changed. That's why my copies.
So when the technical there's funding that happens
You want a copy?
before, you need to work on
Yeah.
that. There's enough money in the budget
Do
to
we have
get
it?
the people ordered.
Yeah,
So we can talk.
We'll send it.
yeah, I'll get you the copies.
It's not the
Give me
big,
1 second.
So this is the counter to what was proposed last.
there's
Yes,
things behind it
yes.
like that.
And I did it up to 18 months. I get what you're saying is it's being stretched out, but we'll firm up the language to make sure it's not going to be stretched out. It's a firm 18 months, and what we're trying to get to. Right?
Because the language states right now, 6 months, a firm 6 months, or should be at 6 months, and it's being stretched out to 18 months.
Okay, we'll firm that up.
Because of the fact of
Yeah.
the process, the funds.
But it doesn't say shall, it says may, right?
In the,
There's a couple of words.
In the anticipation.
It says may, like,
This
it's
is
not
the
a firm.
anticipation of,
The anticipation of, like I said, prior to last October, we had anticipated a
I'll change it, yes, I'm
shortfall,
sorry.
possibly 40 to 50 firefighters. Which
No, it's okay.
came to pass, I mean, it seemed to be. And
What is this?
it will prolong more than a year to start.
Come up with a proposal.
Yeah.
Let's get.
And I think that the prolonging is in exchange of the city taking on the financial responsibility of funding the unfilled FTEs. So it's kind of like a trade-off, right? It's a little bit of time, but after that time clock, the city's gonna start contributing money into the pension, which is an additional financial obligation to the city, which hadn't been done before.
Well, hold on, but the financial obligation with the FTEs is already there. You already have a budget.
It is,
So y'all are saving on the budget from the day the person retires. Now you want to save for 18 months.
No, sir, because remember, the reason why we stretched it out to 18 months was because now we are doing something that wasn't part of the contract in the beginning. We had no obligation, to fund that.
No obligation,
But
the obligation was to
budget-
have the academy within 6
During the
months.
budgeting
Yes.
process, the pension contribution is what is off of actual members or the 407?
Off of the 407.
Just,
So whatever's remaining, those would be contributed.
what, you guys didn't go into why, the proposal to the pension was 1%. It was just because of the kind
It was accounted for now.
But no reason behind it.
There's reasons behind it. There's always reasons.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get you that information right now. Just give me 1 second. Let me just.
Discuss it.
I can't find.
So you'll give it to us?
Yes, I'll give it to you right now. I'm just gonna print it out. What is this? Please. Stop video.